Little bit. Back to you.
For years, author and design mentor of Project Runway, Tim Gunn, has been known as an icon in the fashion industry, and he's making an appearance in Providence tonight for a very special event to help Providence Children's Museum celebrate 40 years of encouraging creativity and learning. Tim joins us here in studio this morning, along with the executive director of the museum, Caroline Payson. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Michaela.
Well, let's start with your relationship. You guys have known each other for a long time.
Forever.
A very long time, for almost 30 years. Back when Tim was just as dashing, but not quite as gray.
Or white.
Or white. We worked together at Parsons School of Design in New York, so I'm one of the people who really knows Tim as an educator.
Yes.
And someone who has really been there for young people. So it's great to be able to have him here for even younger people at the Children's Museum.
Yeah, and you've actually done a lot of work with, well, people of all ages. We know what you've done in Project Runway, but you've worked with some young designers as well. And then a lot of adults. I was telling you, my sister, prime example, almost come full circle with you. We know you as your role in Project Runway, and now as Bailiwick, voicing
Sophia
a children's character. Yes.
No, Bailiwick's a wonderful character. I'm honored to play him. I really am. But I have to tell you, I'm used to college-age students, or at least I was. It was Caroline who introduced me to younger students when she was the head of the education department at the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian National Design Museum. And that was really my indoctrination. I was very trepidatious. I thought, I don't know whether I'm going to like this group of people. And I love them. I mean, they're so... well, and they're in the process of being formed, of evolving. They're so endlessly curious about everything, and they're wonderful little sponges, and they're a joy to work with. And we're going to be doing a workshop today at the Providence Children's Museum.
For middle school students, I think one of the great things about working with young people is they already have such confidence in their own creativity, and they're dying to try it. And I think sometimes as folks get older, they get more intimidated by that and less likely to do it, but it's something that we really foster at the museum, and it's a great opportunity for, I think, some second and third graders this afternoon who may or may not know who Tim is, to have this opportunity to do a design challenge and have him mentor them before our evening program where Tim will be talking to adults.
Well, because there are a lot of similarities in what the Children's Museum does and what you've been doing of just encouraging that trial and error, that creativity.
Risk-taking. Just be fearless, fly.
And so do you enjoy working with these little kids? I know you mentioned how at first you were a little unsure, but you started to see a lot of likable qualities in them.
Michaela, 5 seconds in, and I was completely sold. And I have to say, they inspire me. I mean, I feel I'm the beneficiary.
If only they knew who they were inspiring, right? I mean, that is certainly a feat. So tell us a little bit more about the event tonight. This is actually something that the public can attend.
Absolutely. It's our annual meeting, and as always, it's open to the public. It starts at 5:30 for people who'd like a cocktail before the event.
Who wouldn't?
Exactly.
I'm with you, Tim.
And it's open to the public if people want to register. They just need to go to our website right now. At any point during the day, we still have some slots open, and it's an opportunity to hear a little bit more about the museum. And as you mentioned, we're celebrating our 40th year, and this is the first of a year's worth of events. We're going to have our Great Play On event the first week in May. We're going to have a gala, but tonight is really just kind of start us off on the right foot and really talk about creativity and how impactful that is for children with their, in a room full of parents or people who hope to be parents or folks who are just very interested in kids.
And that can be tough for kids, I'm sure, kind of getting down on themselves. I'm sure you've seen it a lot while they're working.
Yes, I mean, they can be very self-critical, but they have to know the answer's not in the back of the book. When it comes to creative thinking, it's whatever you want to create, and it's only as good as the depth of your own investment in your work.
I think that's advice for anyone.
I agree.
Great advice for anyone of any age. So I think we're really going to learn a lot from listening to you today, and you're really going to inspire a lot of those young kids out there. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Coming and taking the time for us. To 35 years of friendship, right? Or 30 years of friendship.
I'm not that old.
40 years of the museum. We can't keep it straight. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michaela.
If you'd like to register to attend tonight's annual meeting at Providence Children's Museum, visit roadshow.com.